Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Sparkle Restorative Flow. My name is Genevieve Marino, and I am teaching yoga today as a part of our Glitter Goddess Collective community yoga program. Um, we've been super psyched this week to partner and collaborate with Sustain PVD. So hopefully we have some of you folks joining us today. They had a lot of awesome virtual content this week for their fair. So welcome. Today is a restorative flow, 60 minutes. I recommend some water so that you stay hydrated, a blanket for some of the more supportive flows. You can roll it up and use it as a bolster or just some support under your joints. And maybe like a pillow or something that could be used as a block. Can't remember if we need that, but just in case. Hope everybody's doing well today. I can't see you, so feel free to jot down comments in the chat and ask any questions you have in the chat, or shout out if you need different modifications or alternatives to some of the poses I'm calling out. I'll be checking the chat regularly, and I'm happy to communicate that way and throw stuff out. All right, let's begin. Feel free to sip your coffee or your tea also. I know I will. And we're going to begin by lying on our backs. So like this. And kind of snuggle the shoulders under, turn the palms up. And settle. And feel the connection to the earth. What parts of your body are touching the floor? And then as you breathe, notice as your lungs expand your rib cage, what parts of your spine and your rib cage meet the floor. And settle into a comfortable position, lying on your backs if you just joined us. And then here, I want you to start to come to a 4-count inhale and a 4-count exhale. At your own pace, we don't have to be synchronized just yet. And while you're inhaling, see if you can connect your bottom back ribs to the floor. See if you can send, so I'm going to point to them, your air down to the bottom back ribs of your rib cage. And see what it takes to expand left and right and ground those ribs into the floor. So bring your awareness to the bottom parts of your ribs. And you can even bring your fingers there. And see how it feels to alter the breath in this way. Expand left to right, ground down in the back, ribs, and it's almost like you're filling up in all directions as if you had this circle around you, and you're not limited to moving left and right or forward or just back, but it's all four directions. And now with this feeling, I'm going to start to add some guidance and synchronicity. So in a moment, we're going to inhale to 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4 counts, and hold at the bottom for 4 counts. So this is the square breath that we've done a couple times if you've taken my class before. So inhale, exhale, so we can all get on the same page, and then begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in naturally and exhale. From here, we're going to come into happy baby. So you can bend your knees and bring your arms along the inside of your legs. Grab the outer edge of the feet. Ground the pelvis into the floor and roll. You can stretch out the legs if you want. Do what feels right. You can do one leg at a time. Hug the legs and the arms into each other. So arms press out and legs squeeze in for a feeling in your hips, and then release. Now here, we're going to do a half happy baby and bring your left foot to the floor and your left knee will be bent. And then right knee will stay in your happy baby shape. And you're going to push right big toe up to the ceiling, and you're holding the outside edge of your foot and bringing that closer down towards your shoulder. And then if you want, you have the option to straighten the left leg for a left frontal hip stretch. And you can add movement here. So you can either keep your left foot on the ground and knee bent or stretch it forward. And then from here, you straighten the right leg. Again, options for your left leg. And then straighten your right leg and reach the heel up towards the ceiling for a hamstring stretch. And your hands can clasp the back of your right thigh, shin, toe, but as you grip higher on your leg, the more challenging it will be. If you have a strap, you could always loop that around your foot and hold it like that. And you're going to kick the heel up. And you're going to roll the inner part of your right leg towards the left foot. And the inner part of your left leg down to the ground. And stretch out with both legs. And you can give yourself a little bit of resistance. Hands interlaced, pushing the right leg towards your chest and the right leg kicking away. And then place the right foot to the ground. We're going to do half happy baby on the left side. So right leg can stay bent with right foot on the ground. Left leg comes into happy baby, so your arm connects with the inside of the left leg and your hand grips the outer left foot's edge. You can move around here. You can straighten the leg and rebend it. Option to straighten the right leg for a frontal hip stretch. That's kind of intense, so you choose whether you want it bent or straight. And then here, straighten the right leg to the ceiling, left leg to the ceiling, and you can grip behind the left thigh, the shin, the toes, the foot, your choice. And you straighten the leg as best you can, and you reach the right heel away from you towards the front of the mat, and the left heel up towards the ceiling. You feel the left inner leg rolling towards your right foot, and the right inner leg rolling down towards the mat. And then you add a little bit of resistance by kicking the left leg away from you, but still pulling the left thigh bone towards you. So you've added some resistance now. And then release. Bend both knees and place both feet on the mat. And we're going to do a bridge pose. And so your options here, you can do a supported bridge, and I'll show you how that will be done by bringing your blanket or some pillows underneath your sacrum. Or you can do a more active bridge pose. So if you're doing a more active bridge pose, you're going to first snuggle your shoulders onto the mat, and plug your thigh bones down into their hip sockets. So you're going to feel like you're doing sort of a cow spine and you're getting ready to back bend. And then you're going to lift up by pushing down into your heels and see if you can make your hips the highest part of this pose. Snuggle your shoulders down again and lift and push. And maybe drag the heels back towards your hands. So continue doing that to 5 breaths. Everybody else who's doing the supported bridge pose, you can take your blanket, fold it up pretty high as you can, or 2 couch pillows or something like that. And you're going to make the same shape. Everybody who is in the active bridge pose, you can lower your hips to the ground and join us in the supported bridge. And so I have my hips now, actually I need to adjust it, like this. My blanket is just bunched up, folded underneath my sacrum. Feet are flat on the floor, knees bent. And then shoulders snuggle underneath you. You could use your arms to hold the edges of the mat and gently pull the edges of the mat away from each other. Or you could just let your arms fan out, palms facing the ceiling. And we'll breathe here for 8 breaths or so. All right. To come out of the pose, raise your hips an inch or 2. Gently take the support, the blanket or the pillows out from underneath your sacrum and lower gently to the ground. Roll over to one side and gently come up to seated. And from here, take the left hand onto the right knee and cup it. Reach the right arm out to the middle. Bring shoulders over hips. Make sure you're not leaning forward or too far back. And then reach the arm up. Follow the fingertips with your gaze. And then continue as much as you can to reach the arm behind you. And if you're able to, place right fingertips on the ground behind you. Again, sternum reaches up towards the ceiling. And you twist. Right rib cage back, left rib cage forward. Bring your awareness again to the bottom back ribs and send your air as you inhale to that space. As you inhale, right ribs back even a little bit more, left ribs forward, exhale. Inhale, air goes to the bottom back ribs. And exhale, come back to center. This time, Right hand to left knee, cup the knee. Feel a really good connection. Bring your shoulders back over the hips if you came forward a little bit. And then left arm reaches out towards the center. Then fingertips move up, up, up. Follow the fingertips with your gaze. And then they start to move behind you and you twist. Reach behind you with the left hand and maybe you place left fingertips on the ground. Sternum moves up. Sitting bones ground down. Left rib cage back towards the left fingertips. Right rib cage moves forward. Inhale, send the breath to the bottom back ribs. The same part of the rib cage that we felt grounding down onto the earth in the beginning of class when we were lying on our backs. Inhale, twist. Exhale, twist. Inhale, send the air to the bottom back ribs. Lift the chest. Exhale, twist a little bit further. And then come back to center. Take a moment to sip some water, sip some coffee. And perhaps you come into a child's pose. And reach your hands forward and drape yourself over your knees. I don't know if you can hear all of the fun sounds of life behind me, but I say this all the time. I grew up in a house with a lot of people, and so sometimes people would get annoyed that they hear so much background noise, but for me, it always makes me feel really happy and at home. And also, I live in New York City, so when is there ever going to be a time that there's quiet? But just hearing the happy sounds of life behind me, like the dogs barking and people singing and the radio, it just, instead of distracting me, it actually helps me focus and puts me in a good mood. So hopefully that shift in perspective can kind of help as we stay focused and enjoy our restorative practice. So from your child's pose, tuck the feet, tuck the toes underneath you, and then send the hips up for down dog. Look forward in between the thumbs and go up. And it's okay if your knees are bent. And it's okay if your heels are lifted. So I went from child's pose up. And then while you're here, you see, while still sending the hips up, can I slowly stretch out the backs of my legs, open the hamstrings, ground the heels down. Maybe you pedal out the knees. It's our first down dog here. Add some movement. Shake the head out. Shake it yes. Shake it no. And then slowly walk up towards the top of your mat. Inhale. And for this inhale, I want you to bend your knees and connect belly to thighs. And bend your knees as much as you need to place your hands flat on the mat next to your feet. Feet can be separated hip bone distance apart. And when you inhale, lengthen. I want you to look forward, keep your knees bent, lengthen the spine, but see if you can keep your hands glued to the earth. So you have something to sort of create a resistance and send your hips back and your sternum forward to lengthen out the spine and then fold forward. Inhale, rise, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So while you're in your forward fold, you can work on lengthening the hamstrings and stretching out the backs of the legs. But I've been playing around with really gluing my hands to the earth and feeling that I have something to resist so that I can stretch and lengthen out my spine. And even though I'm not perfect at this, I'm working on getting this part of my chest to reach forward and my hips to reach back. And that's the feeling. There's always different feelings you can go for in your practice. That's what I'm throwing out and offering today. Okay. Come to standing at the top of your mat. And we're going to move through some sun salutations. One breath, one movement. See if you could generate these movements with your inhale and your exhale. Okay. Inhale, reach the arms up, rise. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step it back. Feel free to put knees on the ground. Lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, back bend, roll up for cobra or upward facing dog. I'm doing cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Find stability. Press down in the fingertips and the pads of the hands. Lift the forearms. Not Shavasana yet. Okay, look forward and then walk your feet in between your hands. See if you can keep your hands down, glued onto the earth. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up, rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, look forward. Exhale, step it back. You can always put your knees down. Lower down for chaturanga. And if you're doing cobra, come all the way down to the earth. Inhale, curl the sternum forward for cobra and a back bend. And then exhale, you make your way back to downward facing dog for 5 breaths. And then here, you're thinking, push down with the fingertips. And you can also think to sort of trick your belly into supporting you. You think low belly in. And I wouldn't even see anything, but that reminds me of that space. at the beginning of class when we were lying on our backs, that space near our low ribs that we were breathing into, by sort of engaging my low belly, by pulling it in, I can send my breath there. Okay, inhale, walk the feet forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine, sternum forward, hips move back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step it back and put your knees down on the ground and come into a tabletop position. So this is a rectangular shape with hands underneath shoulders and knees underneath hips so that your thigh bones are perpendicular and maybe I need to walk my hands back. And your arms are perpendicular, so I'm in this square shape. And now, if you need to pad your knee, you either take your blanket and you do like one fold of the blanket. Oops. Oh my gosh. Like this in tabletop, and you put your knees over it. Or if you only have a yoga mat, you can fold up your yoga mat a couple of times, roll it up. And so then you're using your yoga mat like 2, 3, 4 layers thick, however you need it. Because you don't need that much mat here for this sequence. So here in tabletop, push down with your hands and your fingertips. Push down especially with the left hand and look forward with the chest and the eyes, and then reach the right hand forward. Push down with the left hand, reach right hand forward. Push down with left hand, reach right hand forward. Push down with left hand, reach right hand forward, and then place it back on the mat. Push down with the right hand. Look forward with chest and eyes. Reach left hand forward. Push down with right hand, reach left hand forward. Push down with right hand, reach left hand forward. Push down with right hand, reach left hand forward. Push down with right hand, reach left hand forward. Okay, good. Down on the mat. 2 hands underneath your 2 shoulders. And here. Push down with both hands. Take the left toes and extend the left leg and step it behind you. Push down with your hands. Look forward with your chest and your eyes. If you want, lift the back leg. Push down with hands. Push down with right shin. Look forward. Lift leg. And then place it down on the mat. Good shot. Push down with both hands, fingertips. Look forward with eyes and chest. Extend right leg back. Toes on the ground tucked. Inhale, reach the leg up. If you want, you can stay here and work on really good alignment. Push down with the fingertips of the hands. Push down with the left shin. Lift the right leg, look forward, and then bring the toes back to the ground. Come into tabletop. Feel free to shake it out if you want. Take a sip of water. Why not? If you came out of it, come back into tabletop. And here, we're going to move just our pelvis, which is this part of our body, in a clockwise circular motion. So it's almost like your tailbone is moving in a clockwise motion. And when you first start, it's so early, it's actually harder. For me, it's harder than I think it would be. Try to look forward. If you need to, stretch out a leg. And you're going in a circular motion with the pelvis. Draw circles on the back of the room with your tailbone. Okay, and then move the opposite direction. And for some reason, for me, one is so much harder and stranger. One direction is so much harder than the other. Remember to breathe. Look forward if you can to avoid just like dumping like I was doing. For some reason, I literally hate this. Hopefully you're having a more enjoyable experience of this than I am. Okay. And come to kneeling on your knees. And from here, actually come into a child's pose. Remove any padding if you had padding under your knees. And we're going to come into down dog the same way we did earlier in class. So you're going to be in this child's pose with knees, hips width distance apart, and your toes are actually tucked. Your hands are going to reach out in front of you, and they're shoulder width distance apart. You're going to look forward so that eyes are looking in between the thumbs, or maybe even like a couple feet further away forward. Push down with the fingertips, and your hips are just going to go straight up. And your knees, maybe they'll start out bent. And over time, see if you can reach, if you can lengthen the legs and straighten the legs by reaching hip bones up, heels down, and over time, slowly, the legs get longer. Inhale, bring the right knee forward, come over, shoulders come over wrists, and step the right foot next to the right thumb. And here, you can bring the back knee down. Again, pad the knee if you'd like to by placing a blanket underneath knee. Or you can fold up the mat sideways this time. And then here, bring both hands to the inside of the right foot and shimmy it out an inch. And we're going to stay in this lizard pose for a moment. And if you want to, if you have your pillows nearby, you can place your forearms on your pillows. But it's fine to stay here with hands and bent, hands on the ground, bent elbows. Look forward. And then here, see if you can move your pelvis in that circular motion. And then move it the other way. Then here, we're going to straighten the front leg. Feel free to lift the toes if you'd like, or keep them down on the ground. Hips are going to reach up. Walk the hands forward. Your hands can be on your pillows, lifting your torso up or bringing the floor closer to you. That is fine. And here we're going to think of straightening this front leg. It may stay like this, but you want to feel the lengthening feeling as you bring your hip bones up. Okay, rebend the front leg and just step it back into child's pose. And we'll come into down dog the same way again and do the other side. Tuck the toes. Walk your fingertips forward. And then look forward. Push down with the hands. And you're going to send the hips up. And then here, bring the left knee forward and step the left foot next to the left fingertips. Bring the back knee down. And if you want to pad your knee, you can either grab your blanket or fold up the mat this way, like that. You're going to shimmy the left foot over 1 inch and bring both hands to the inside of the left foot. So now we're here in this lizard pose. If you want to, and if you're feeling really into it, you can bring the forearms down onto your pillows like this. It is perfectly fine to be up on hands with a soft bend in the elbows. Look forward. And then here, like we did on the other side, circle the pelvis in a clockwise motion for some movement. Do this if it feels good. If it feels terrible, you stay in stillness and stability. Go the other way. Maybe it's counterclockwise. And then here, slowly straighten the front leg by bringing the hips up. Back foot can stay tucked or untucked, whatever you want. And then front foot's toes can lift or they can stay flat on the ground. Oh, you can't see me because of the mat. There you go. And you walk the fingertips forward. And the front leg, mine is not straight, it's straightening. So that I can feel a hamstring stretch by lifting my back hips, maybe pushing down with the front toe or the front heel, whatever you've got on the floor. My belly is resting, actually not resting, connecting on my left thigh because this is certainly not rest. And then rebend the front knee and step it back into your child's pose. Take a sip of water here if you'd like. And from child's pose, if you were there, if you were taking a sip of water, just come to lying on your belly. From child's pose, come forward and lower down onto the ground. Stretch the toes back, like shimmy them back as much as you can. Place your hands next to your ribs. Lift the elbows up towards the ceiling. Lift the shoulders up towards the ceiling. Curl the ribs up and look forward. Drag the heels of the hands back for a cobra pose. And then lower onto the ground. Bring the forearms to the ground and place the elbows underneath your shoulders for Sphinx pose. Drag the elbows back and see if you can bring the front of your chest forward through the gates of your arms and look up. Lower onto the ground. Bend the right knee and bring it forward so that the knee is bent. Inner right leg is on the ground for a half frog. And you can come down and lie your cheek on your hands or on the mat. Find a comfortable position. And we'll stay here in this half frog for a nice inner hip opener. Inhale, come up onto forearms if you'd like, and you have the option of threading the left hand through. Now you can stay in that half frog if you like, but if you want, thread the left hand through, walk it over towards the right, and then roll onto the outer left shoulder. Bring the right arm up and over, and now you're in a twist. Perhaps you place the left hand on the right knee or thigh. Come on back, roll over, and find your Sphinx pose again. And from here, bend the left knee and bring it up towards the left hand as far as it'll go. for a half frog on this side, and feel free to lower down onto the ground and place your opposite cheek on the mat or on your hands. If you'd like to, leave the leg where it is, come back into Sphinx pose, and you're going to take your right fingertips, walk them through your left elbow and your left thigh. Bring the right shoulder onto the ground, roll onto the outer right shoulder, keep the left leg bent, and twist on this side. Right hand can cup left knee. And roll back into your Sphinx pose to come out of it. And from here, you'll simply just flip onto your back. Reach the heels forward. Turn the palms of the hands to face the ceiling. Lengthen out the spine. Lengthen out the neck. Perhaps you take your hands and you reach the crown of the head forward gently. And then bring your hands down at your sides for Shavasana. Feel free to stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. If you're ready to come out of it, bring some movement back into your body by wiggling the fingers and wiggling the toes. Roll over onto one side, bend the knees and bring them into your chest for a fetal position. Slowly roll up into a comfortable seat and sit tall. Thank you for practicing with me today. Please thank your body for doing the things that it was able to do on the mat. And thank your mind for attending to the difficult task of practicing yoga. If you liked this flow, please like it and share it and follow us and do all of the social media things to help us out. These flows are available on Facebook, on our Facebook page anytime, and our YouTube channel. We go live 10 a.m. every morning, every weekday and weekend. And I also do a 5 p.m. Thursday flow that's really invigorating and challenging. So if you're into that, I'll see you then. We do these classes for free, but we also accept donations. And those donations go to people of color who have been negatively affected by COVID-19. 100% of your donation goes towards that cause in our respective communities. I'm in New York City. My colleagues are in Providence. So if you can, Venmo at the Glitter Goddesses and just let us know which community you'd like to help. And that's it for today. Again, thank you. My name is Genevieve. I'm with the Glitter Goddess Collective. And have an awesome rest of your Sunday and Memorial Day weekend.